We're just going to give it a few minutes to let the waiting room clear. Please make sure you're muted unless you are presenting. All right, good afternoon. This is a hearing before the Boston Cannabis Board, the BCB. Today is January 18th, 2023. Today's hearing is being conducted pursuant to certain temporary amendments to the open meeting law. This is what allows us to meet virtually. This hearing is being recorded and will be posted to the City of Boston's website. Before I review some procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman Kathleen Joyce.
Thank you, Jasmine. My name is Kathleen Joyce. I'm Chair of the Boston Cannabis Board. And today I'm pleased to be joined by my fellow commissioners, Commissioner Lisa Holmes, Commissioner Darlene Lombos, and Commissioner John Smith.
Thank you, Chairwoman Joyce. My name is Jasmine Nguyen, and I am the Boston Cannabis Board Manager. We are also joined by Allison Quinn, who is the Project Manager for the BCB. I will begin by reading each item into the record as they appear on the agenda. I will then ask who is present on behalf of the proposal before us. The first item on the agenda is an amendment to an already approved establishment. So they will have 5 minutes to present to the BCB, and then we will proceed with the new license applications, in which they will have 10 minutes each to present, followed by questions from the board members. We will then take public testimony, beginning with elected officials or their representatives, followed by the general public. If you wish to testify, please use the link that's put in the chat. If you have already signed up, you do not have to do it again. Additionally, you may use the chat function to request to testify as well. Please wait until the matter in which you would like to speak about is called. Do not use the chat function to give testimony, it will not be considered. Please state your full name, address, and affiliation, if any. Testimony will be limited to 2 minutes, at which time you will be muted. Additional testimony can be submitted in writing to cannabisboard@boston.gov. The record will be kept open until Tuesday, January 24th at 5 p.m. The BCB does not give any more weight to spoken testimony than it does written testimony. We will begin with the first item, which is the applicant is Zip Run Inc. The license premise is 1170 William T. Morrissey Boulevard, Dorchester. The license type is a marijuana operator and courier license. The request is to change the DBA from Zip Run, which is ZIP Run, to Zip Run, ZYP Run. Who is present on behalf of the licensee?
How you doing? Gabriel.
All right, Gabe, you have 5 minutes to present. You may begin.
Yeah, so I'm gonna probably keep this super short. I don't have a presentation, so thank you all for allowing me to come on call today to present the Zip Run changing from ZIP Run to ZYP Run. So essentially, we'd like to make ZYP Run our DBA. Zip Run will still be our incorporated name. So once again, our DBA would now be ZYP Run, and we decided to rebrand for one reason and one reason only. Our legal team simply suggested we change our name from ZIP to ZYP Run to avoid trademark issues. And that's all.
All right, thank you, Gabe. Do any of the commissioners have any questions? Seeing none, is there anyone here that would like to speak in support or opposition to this proposal? Seeing no hands, the board will take this matter under advisement.
Thank you, Jessica.
You're welcome. So we will now move to our new license applications. The applicant is Underground Legacy Social Club LLC, DBA Underground Legacy LLC. The proposed license premise is 1379 and 1385 Blue Hill Avenue, Mattapan. The license type is a retail recreational cannabis dispensary license. The proposed hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. This is an equity applicant. The applicant application was filed on April 22nd, 2022. The inspectional services filing was August 8th, 2022, and the community meeting was held October 20th, 2022. Before we begin with the presentation, I will ask Shakia Scott, who is the Cannabis Business Manager for the Mayor's Office of Economic Opportunity and Inclusion, to the equity certification.
Thank you, Jasmine. Good afternoon, everyone. Our office was able to certify Underground Legacy Social Club LLC as an equity applicant through the documentation submitted by the applicant. Isaac Hampton is the CEO and 51% beneficial interest holder of Underground Legacy Social Club LLC, meeting the 51% ownership interest threshold set forth in the ordinance. Mr. Hampton also meets the following criteria: a person who is of Black, African American, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, or Indigenous descent. Mr. Hampton provided his birth certificate and driver's license identifying him. He also meets a person whose annual household income is at or below 100% of the area median income. Mr. Hampton provided documentation, including tax returns and pay stubs from 2020 and 2021, verifying that he is at 80% of the area median income for the city of Boston. He also identified as a person who has been certified by the Cannabis Control Commission as an economic empowerment applicant or is a participant in the CCC Social Equity Program and has resided in Boston for at least one of the last 3 years. He provided his certification from the CCC as a participant in the Social Equity Program as of July 2021, and his documentation also provided proof of Boston residency since that's at least April of 2021. Are there any questions about this certification?
Thank you, Shakia.
Thank you.
Who is present on behalf of the licensee?
Isaac Hampton with Underground Legacy.
Kim Napoli with Underground Legacy.
Thank you. So you will have 10 minutes to present. You may share your screen and begin.
Give me 1 second to share my screen here. Okay, can everybody see the large orange Underground Legacy emblem on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon, Chairwoman Kathleen Joyce and Boston Cannabis Board Commissioners. Thank you for allowing us to present today. We have a great deal of information to get through, so I'm going to skip through the formalities and really get right into the presentation. So at its core, Underground Legacy is a social justice focused adult use cannabis dispensary that looks to use its platform to center the socioeconomic ills facing the community we do business in. Through partnerships with residents, community stakeholders, and other like-minded organizations, we strive to implement programs and initiatives to positively impact those disenfranchised by the war on drugs. Of equal importance to us is the responsibility to be good stewards of the cannabis industry. With this in mind, our offerings only consist of safe, lab-tested products made available to individuals who are over the age of 21. We also pride ourselves on being able to offer a unique customer experience that is buttressed by exemplary customer service and hospitality. Underground Legacy's leadership team consists of its 3 founders, Isaac Hampton and Kim and John Napoli. I am the CEO and general manager of Underground Legacy, responsible for the day-to-day operation of the dispensary. I am a Boston resident, longtime resident of Mattapan. I spent my formative years growing up on Walk Hill Street, which is the street adjacent to the proposed location. Presently, I reside in Rosendale. I am a state social equity program participant and a Boston Equity certified participant. I'm a serial entrepreneur, having owned multiple businesses in my lifetime, most recently a gym in Dedham, Massachusetts, and a landscaping business with contracts with the city of Boston. I currently work in real estate development industry as a property manager and real estate salesperson. My co-founder, Kim Napoli, is a cannabis attorney by trade who will serve as our legal and compliance officer. Kim is a state social equity program participant as well. Kim serves as the Director of Outreach for the 2016 Yes on 4 ballot initiative that led to the legalization of recreational cannabis in Massachusetts. Kim is a member of the Massachusetts Cannabis Advisory Board. She was appointed by former Governor Charlie Baker to fill the seat of the Minority Business Development Commissioner. She is a board of director with the Marijuana Policy Project, a national organization dedicated to passing cannabis laws, 14 nationwide and counting, a board of director for the Minority Cannabis Business Association, and a policy advisor for the Parabola Center, a national think tank of legal professionals that advise on drug policy that is co-led by former Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commissioner Shailene Tittle. Most recently, Kim was a candidate for the chairwoman position with the Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commission. John Napoli is a cannabis entrepreneur who will serve as the procurement manager. Like Kim, John played an integral role in the legalization of recreational cannabis. Prior to the launch of adult use, John served as an owner-operator for a number of retail stores that sold ancillary cannabis products, including a hydroponic store located in Nubian Square and cannabis clothing store located on Newbury Street. Underground Legacy's three founders bring to the table real-world business experience in the cannabis industry. Between the three founders, there is well over 3 decades of experience in retail, legal, and compliance that will allow us to run a successful compliant dispensary that seamlessly weaves into the business landscape of Mattapan. In short, this is not our first rodeo, which will keep us from making bumbles and rookie mistakes, sometimes demonstrated by less experienced applicants. We've assembled a team of consultants and advisors, in large part that are minority or women-owned companies, to ensure that the launching of Underground Legacy is without any hiccups. The proposed location at 1379, 1385 Blue Hill Avenue is 2,000 square feet. The site is zoned for commercial retail use with no buffer zone conflicts with any proposed or existing cannabis businesses. The site also is not within 500 feet of a public or private school of any kind. The site is unique in that it is the only proposed location in Mattapan and one of a handful in Boston that is its own standalone detached facility that does not share walls with any other businesses or residences. The dispensary will be the sole occupant of the strip mall. This is a significant strategic advantage that makes the site superior to most because we are able to go above and beyond with security measures, as well as make quick adjustments to our business practices without impacting adjacent businesses. The proposed location was specifically chosen for 2 main reasons. The practical reason being the site's ability to easily be converted into a hard target that deters criminal activity. The altruistic reason being the site's location in a negatively impacted area that aligns with Underground Legacy's mission of servicing marginalized communities. The slide before you is the conceptual site plan prepared by Fuss & O'Neill engineers. I'm not sure how familiar the board is with the site, but the proposed location in its present condition has been characterized by many in the community as a blighted parcel suffering from significant deferred maintenance issues. We are committed to making significant capital improvements to the site that will make the parcel one of the real estate jewels of Blue Hill Ave that the community can be proud of. Significant greenscape additions will be made to the parcel that will benefit the community aesthetically as well as practically. As an example, we have had discussions and committed to taking over landscaping and pruning responsibilities for a number of trees and bushes that are encroaching on adjacent condominiums and tenements at 717 Walkill Street and 17 Mattapan Street due to a lack of maintenance. This slide is a exterior rendering, followed by a slide of our floor plan, and then 2 slides that depict what the interior will look like. We commissioned Fuss & O'Neill to perform a traffic study on the impact Underground Legacy would have on the community. The site is easily accessed via public transportation as there is an MBTA bus stop along the site's frontage as well as directly across the street that is serviced by the 28, 29, and 31 bus routes. Mattapan Station is approximately 3/4 of a mile away where trolley service from Ashmont Station is available. The site has the potential for 12 off-street parking spaces and bike racks for cyclists who will inevitably use the bike lanes on Blue Hill Ave and the Sharrows on Walkill Street to get to us. There are also 2 bike share stations within walking distance of the site. Underground Legacy is developing a robust online ordering platform that will significantly reduce wait times for patrons that order ahead. Based on all this information, Fuss & O'Neill has concluded that Underground Legacy will have no impact on traffic patterns in Mattapan. Initially, we will start off with 10 employees with the goal of growing to a staff of 20. 80% of our employees will be City of Boston residents, with a preference being given to Mattapan community members. As entrepreneurs, we understand the power of business mentorship and the role it can play in empowering aspiring business people. For this reason, we have established a minority business mentorship program that will provide technical and financial assistance to any of our employees or Mattapan residents that one day dream of owning their own business. Individuals from the BIPOC community will make up 60% of our staff. Women will make up 50% of our hires and will also occupy 50% of our management positions. Through continuing education offerings, we will make sure this population is empowered to take on these management roles when they are available. 30% of our positions will be reserved for individuals with drug convictions or those that were formerly incarcerated. Quarterly job fairs specifically targeting this population will be held to make sure opportunities for gainful employment reach this group and they are fully represented in the ranks of our company. And lastly, LGBTQ+ community members will comprise 25% of our staff. No one will make less than $18.50 an hour. Health, dental, and vision will be offered to all full-time employees. All employees will be entitled to paid time off and 50% subsidized monthly transportation passes. Through partnerships with local health and wellness vendors, many of whom are minority owned, Underground Legacy is able to offer its employees free to deeply discounted services around nutrition counseling, personal training, and gym memberships, to name a few. Through our Equity for All program, full-time employees are eligible to participate in profit sharing after 1 year of employment. Our positive impact plan consists of 3 main components. The first being a community advisory board comprised of 7 residents who will meet with us quarterly to provide constructive criticism and feedback on our efforts as a community partner. The board's primary responsibility will be to determine what causes Underground Legacy's annual 1% donation of gross profits should go to. Our second component is the implementation of bi-monthly community cleanups, where residents may request assistance with tending to their properties for things like spring or fall cleanups. The program was designed with elderly residents in mind, as this population often does not have the ability or the means to keep up with their residences. The goal of this program is to increase property values and curb appeal throughout the neighborhood. This is our contribution to revitalization efforts taking place in Mattapan. The third component to our positive impact plan is our Can I Live program, which centers the needs of women of color. We will hold 2 semi-annual clinics that focus on the risk factors involved in using cannabis products during pregnancy. To combat the gruesome statistic of the maternal mortality rate of Black women being 2 times higher than that of its white counterparts in Massachusetts, we will offer free doula or midwife services to all program participants. These services have a value of $5,000, and program graduates may access these services at any point that they become pregnant. Underground Legacy has hosted several community outreach events, both in person and virtual, as well as engaged various local organizations and community stakeholders. We will continue to do so, as this is part and parcel for our business practices. The hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. All patrons must be 21 years of old with proper identification. A customer's initial visit to Underground Legacy will trigger the signing of a good patrons agreement, where the individual pledges to be on their best behavior or risk being banned from our establishment.
Mr. Hampton, that is your time if you want to wrap it up briefly.
Absolutely. So our patrons will be buzzed in. Will be buzzed in through a security vestibule, and where they have to present identification. They also will have to present identification at the point of sale, and they will exit the same way they came in, and we will conduct regular patrolling of our parking lot to make sure there's no outdoor queuing, littering, loitering, or double parking on Blue Hill Ave. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will move to questions and comments from our board members, beginning with Chairwoman Joyce.
Thank you, Jasmine. Mr. Napoli, I just wanted to, are you available?
Mr. Hampton.
Is Mr. Napoli though available?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can't see because the presentation is still up.
Did I take the presentation down?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Napoli, you're part owner in 3 other cannabis establishments in Massachusetts.
Not licensed stores. So I'm the founder of the Hempist, which was founded back in 1995, long before there was a cannabis industry. We have a store down on Newbury Street. Maybe you've seen it. We've been there forever. It's like clothing. It's like my hoodie is made out of hemp.
I see here that you're 24% owner of Northampton Enterprises.
Yep. I have a few businesses. So Northampton Enterprises is DBA, the Hempist. So we had a Hempist that we founded in Northampton in 2001. And we converted that into a licensed dispensary back in 2021. So I'm 24% owner there, and we are. Yep. I'm also 50% owner of Quincy Cannabis Company, and we have a provisional license in Quincy, and hopefully we would just will be open in the next couple months.
Okay, I'm gonna just jump in because I'm reading through documentation that was submitted to the board.
I know there's a lot there. It's a little confusing. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just gonna read right off. If you just give me a second, I'm gonna go through it. So it says that you have a direct interest in the following licensed cannabis businesses in Massachusetts, 24% owner of the Hempus dispensary in Northampton.
Yep.
My question for you is, how long has that been open?
We opened in 2021, February 2021.
Okay, and you're 50% owner of the Quincy Cannabis Company. You just said you have a provisional license.
Yeah, we're provisional. We've built out, we've already gone through the post-provisional license inspection, so we should have that final license, you know, God willing, during the February schedule that the CCC has.
So you should have that license in February.
Knock on wood. I mean, the CCC is not known for their speediness over there, so. You know, hopefully, God willing, we'll be on that February schedule.
Okay, and this states that you're 7% owner in Van Garden Cannabis Company.
That is a
Leicester.
cultivation and manufacturing license.
Okay, and how long have you been involved in that?
Well, I mean, I got the HCA for that back in 2017, 2018. It's been a long, I mean, that's a long process. It's a big facility. We got the license, provisional license, I believe in 2019. We started raising the money, doing the design shortly after, and we're able to start building out late 2020, I believe. And we just, you know, finally, you know, we started growing last year, and we have our commence operations back in December. So we're really new to the market, but we do have our final license and our commence operations over there as well.
Okay, and I don't know who the right person is to answer this question, and it may have been included in the presentation, but how many parking spots do you have at this location?
12.
Currently, we have 8 with, you know, the possibility of 12. And I say the possibility, and we might do some reconfiguring.
Okay, all right, thank you. Those are the questions I have right now. Thank you.
You, Commissioner Holmes, do you have any questions? No. Commissioner Olmos?
Yes, thank you, Jasmine, and thanks so much for the application. I did have a couple questions. Was the community advisory board, do you have a sense of how you might choose who will be on that board?
Absolutely,
Like, will you have
yes.
specific seats? Okay, great.
Yep.
Could you share that a little bit?
Absolutely. So the makeup of the board will consist of ideally 2 people from community development organizations, 3 residents, just general sort of residents, and then we'd like someone from a faith-based organization to be on our board, and then someone from law enforcement.
Okay, and do you imagine that you would be recruiting, or is there like an application process? I'm just wondering how you might do that process.
We'd be recruiting. Yeah, there's no standard or formal application process.
Okay.
And we've already had some people express interest in participating.
Great. And then I think that's a great idea. It's very interesting. It's a new one. I think that's great. In terms of the employment plan, can you say a little bit more about your recruitment and how you might do the job fairs, and then also the retention plan?
Absolutely. So we plan on utilizing a number of different organizations to help us do recruiting. Obviously, through the multiple flyering and events, we've gotten to know people in the community that have expressed interest at working there. Even some of the direct abutters would like to actually work for us, so that'd be great that they could just walk right out of their house and basically into work. But in terms of formalized organizations that we plan on using, we have looked at using the Office of Returning Citizens with the City of Boston, Community Resources for Justice, Ethos, which is a organization that reaches out to elderly and disabled. We are planning on using Boston Black Software for posting jobs, the staffing group, and a number of other different formal organizations to help us with outreach and posting of jobs. But like I said, we feel like word of mouth is always the best tool, and just really grassroots efforts on the ground, reaching out to residents has always really worked well for us. So.
Great. And then how
And-
about your retention plan? What are you thinking about? We've heard a lot about high turnover in the industry and actually work, just in terms of workforce, what I'm sure you all know the studies about what keeps and retains employees. So just wondering what your thoughts are on retention.
But we feel
can
we have
jump
a
in.
very, go ahead, Kim.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, so work-life balance is very important to us, to ensuring that, I mean, if anyone learned anything from COVID, it was that work-life balance is essential to being able to sustain both employment and your life at home. So making sure that benefits are flexible, that people have the ability to, we can offer accommodations to folks as needed. Working from home has proven to be something that is an accommodation that is reasonable, that does offer a lot of opportunity and flexibility. Ensuring that childcare is an option, so providing stipends or flexibility around work scheduling so that people can come in as needed, having, again, flexible time off. Also making sure that DE&I is a focus, DE&I being diversity, equity, inclusion is a focus in everything we do from the outset, through onboarding, attracting, recruiting, and through performance, tying our managers' performance appraisal to the achievements of DE&I goals is another way to ensure that not only are we making sure that we have DE&I policies and procedures, but they're actually being followed and met. And then, of course, integrating our employees into the actual experience and the success of the business, as Isaac can jump into in a second and explain a little bit in the presentation, but making sure that our employees are truly part of the business and the growth of the business and the continued success, and that they benefit from that continued success more than just via a paycheck.
Thank you. And just one more question. I might have missed this, but can you say how many workers if you hadn't already said how many you were anticipating for this shop, and then how many full-time, how many part-time?
So 20 in total, and it will be a combination of most likely right down the middle, 10 part-time, 10 full-time, with some slight variations based on need, but that's our initial thought.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Smith, do you have any questions?
Thanks, Jasmine. Can you tell me a little bit about the bonus table that I read about?
Absolutely. So we have two programs that we're particularly proud of. The first one is called Equity for All. And this is available to all of our full-time employees, where they become, after 1 year of service, they become eligible for profit sharing on a vested schedule that takes place over the course of 5 years. So that's one. And then individual bonuses as well as store-wide bonuses based on performance will also be something that we offer to all of our employees, regardless of tenure with us.
Regardless of tenure. So
Correct.
The equity fall is after 1 year.
That's correct, to full-time employees.
But the bonus table, you can get that based on sales.
From day one.
From day one.
Mhm.
And based on them, the employees themselves and their
Correct.
efforts in terms of sales.
Correct, at the individual level as well as store-wide. So if the store does well, let's say an individual it does exceedingly well, they could potentially get a bonus for that, as well as if the store does well. So they could potentially get 2 bonuses.
Thanks. And the mentorship, business mentorship program, that's for employees as well?
It is, as well as Mattapan residents.
Okay, because there's a lot of stress I see in the application on, you use the term socioeconomic about 2 to 3 times. So you're
Correct.
thinking about the residents and training them, or?
That's correct. We, as an entrepreneur, lifelong entrepreneur, and I know how hard it is to launch a business. And I've had a lot of individuals that have lit a helping hand and helped me to get to this point in my life. And so I just really want to be able to do the same for others. Particularly if someone has an interest in the cannabis industry or doesn't, for that matter. But if they are under my wing, nothing would make me happier than to be able to give them a a hand up. And so we're committed to empowering our employees if they have goals of one day owning their own businesses as well. Even if that means that we'll end up, eventually at some point, maybe losing them. Even if that means at some point they might become a competitor. We really just want to make sure that we're empowering the community as a whole, and to really see that through, really talk the talk and walk the walk. That means empowering our employees as well.
And I just want to jump on real quick and add to what Isaac said, that this piece of empowering our employees through training, through skills development. Of course, high turnover has been a noted issue in the cannabis industry nationwide. However, in the sense of, if you come to us and you learn a skill and you take that skill and realize it and turn it into something better, I think that's positive turnover. And we're not afraid of helping the industry be better overall. So if we can give skills to folks that allow them to carry it on and do better business, then we're all for that.
Absolutely.
So that there's high turnover. So how do you plan to deal with that?
What we've done and what's worked for us is by giving good benefits, really good healthcare. That's what keeps people on board. If you're going above and beyond, giving 90% or covering 100% of their healthcare, people tend to think twice before leaving a job like that. And I think as long as you take care of the people and you have the right people who are passionate about the industry they're in, you can minimize that turnover.
I would say, really, in essence, it's about putting people over profits, thinking that this is Underground Legacy and it's a social justice oriented organization. The focus is to make something better. So really and truly focusing on the people in our community, that's internal and external, and how do we make how do we do our work such that they can do good work and that the community, everyone benefits from it. The issue that you'll find, and this is now getting a little bit off topic, but generally the high turnover rates are when people are putting those profits before the dollars and focusing on their bottom line, as opposed to the people who are helping them achieve that bottom line. So we have a different, we approach it from a different perspective, and it's proven, but we are hoping to prove that positively, right, at Underground Legacy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Any additional questions from the board members? None. Next, we're going to have public testimony.
Commissioner
Yeah.
Holmes has a
Oh,
question.
sorry.
I do. I'm sorry. And it just had to do with the profit sharing, because for the full-time employees. So do they have to contribute anything to that prior to benefiting?
No, they don't.
Okay, so that's just automatic. The 1% is just automatic.
So it actually, over the course of 5 years, it ends up being 1.25%.
Okay.
Yep, and they don't have, there's no contribution needed on their part.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, now we will move to public testimony, beginning with elected officials or their representatives. Is ONS not on? If not, if there are no elected officials or representatives, we will move to those who signed up via the chat. Allison, if you want to go through those names.
Sure. The first person to sign up was Roberta Logan. Miss Logan, if you're available, please proceed.
Good morning. My name is Roberta Logan. I live at 35 Eldon Street, which is located between Grove Hall and Four Corners in Dorchester. Between 1974 and 2006, I was employed as a middle school teacher in Boston Public Schools. I am here to lend support to Underground Legacy's owner, Isaac Hampton. I've known Mr. Hampton since he was a child and have watched him grow as a person, a father, and entrepreneur. As a member of my neighborhood association, I have listened to several entrepreneurs who are interested in opening medical and/or recreational cannabis dispensaries. Some have talked about the economic benefit to the community and job opportunities for residents. Some have tried to claim connections to the neighborhood. Most were merely interested in the emerging economic opportunity. None have had a proactive community engagement plan. Underground Legacy has an action plan that addresses community concerns as a part of its business plan. I'm particularly impressed with the Can I Live program that addresses the need to educate pregnant mothers about the uses of cannabis. In closing, I'd like to say, young men from our community often face obstacles that are difficult to overcome. One is access to opportunity. Mr. Hampton knows the challenges of starting, running, and maintaining a business. I am confident that he will bring that knowledge into this new venture. I'd like to see this young man have this opportunity, and I think he can make it work. I want to thank you, and I want to say hi to a friend of mine. Hi, John. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Logan. The next person to sign up was George White. Mr. White, if you're available, please proceed.
Hello and good afternoon. My name is George White. I live at 797 Morton Street, right on the border of Mattapan and Dorchester. I've lived here my entire life. I've grown up in the area. I went to school in the area. And I'm here to voice my support as well for Mr. Hampton and Underground Legacy. I've known Isaac now for about 8 or 9 years. We met as I was going to his gym, and we became friends afterwards. Isaac has always been somebody who has been a person of his word. If he says he's going to do something, he's going to help you, or if he's going to provide you with some sort of support, he does it 100%. I've seen him do that with myself, as well as everyone else who was participating at the gym. I'm totally behind everything that Underground Legacy is bringing to the table. I wish them nothing but success, and I know that if there's something that Isaac says he's going to do, it's going to happen. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. White. The next person who signed up to provide testimony is Valerie Hampton. Ms. Hampton, if you're available, please proceed.
Good afternoon. My name is Valerie Hampton, and I lived in Mattapan on Walk Hill Street. I'm a retired special needs teacher, and I'm the mother of Isaac Hampton, the proprietor of Underground Legacy. I am here today to strongly voice my belief that the community service component of Underground Legacy would greatly benefit the community. It is not just a business, but is one that is sensitive to its environmental needs and its customers. Its proprietor is able to face challenges in a mature, professional, rational manner that allow for meaningful and sound output. It is this characteristic trait that will be evident within its workings with the community. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mrs.
Bob. Love you.
Love you too.
And that concludes all of those who have signed up to provide testimony online.
Finn Bush. You're muted. Just gotta unmute yourself.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yep.
How you doing? Good afternoon, everyone on the board. I'm a lifelong resident of Boston and Mattapan. I live at 57 Hazleton Street, which is 1 block over from the proposed location. Isaac Hampton is a good friend. I consider him a good friend of mine. I think it's going on 20 years that we've known each other. And, you know, piggybacking off of what George White said, he's a man of his word, and he's a great addition to this community. He's part of this community, and I believe that he is going to follow through with all the things that he says, as far as community development and things like that. That business that's presently there now at that location is definitely an eyesore, and their proposed development and renovations of that area would be welcomed by the neighborhood. I've been here for years. Like I said, some of you on the board might know my godfather who passed last year, Turhan Shepherd. He was a big part of this community in Mattapan here, and his wife, Adrian Shepherd, who were business owners here for 50 years. And they were both, Turhan Shepherd was in support of Isaac and his venture, and his wife, Adrian, also is. So, I wish him the best. I wish his team the best. I believe in them, and I'm in full support of them and their venture. And the neighborhood is in full support of them. And we welcome them. We hope to see them soon.
Thank you, Finn.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Bush. Isla has her hand raised.
Hello. My name is Ishala Haynes, and I was born and raised in the communities of Boston. I'm speaking on behalf of the Positive Impact Plan, Can I Live project. I'm an ICTC and ALICE trained doula living in Boston. I was born into this work and have been neck deep in birth work for over 35 years. My mother being a home birth, traveling nurse midwife, along with 3 of my aunts. They were known as the traditional childbearing group and later traveling Black midwives. They offered home-centered prenatal birth and postpartum care for the families in our community. I observed everything that they did, and at 6 years old was given my first role as a birth support doula. I was naturally molded into this role of a birth worker. I attended labor and deliveries and partook in cooking meals and making teas for the mommies' postpartum care. Professionally, I've worked for the Cambridge Health Alliance's Cambridge Birth Center for many years. I was a partner in a local movement called the International Birth and Wellness Project in 2007, where I offered doula services free of charge for mothers who wanted stellar prenatal care but had no insurance and couldn't afford to pay for a home birth midwife out of their pocket. I've worked also as a newborn care specialist / night nurse in Boston, Rentham, and in the state of Georgia. I currently work for 2 agencies in Boston named Roots Midwifery and Boston Baby Nurse, where I'm a certified newborn care expert. I'm certified in CPR, first aid, sleep coaching, childhood allergy safety, choking and infant emergencies, advanced newborn care, and mindfulness in raising self-aware children. The families that I provide service for through these agencies are extremely wealthy and easily pay $40 and up per hour for postpartum care. And because of it, are able to fare better mentally and emotionally postpartum than most mothers who can't because of their lack of finances. Every woman and family deserves a doula. I love supporting women and families as it grows my communities in ways that are imperative to a healthy future. This is my life's work in addition to raising 5 of my own children. I completed the CCC social equity.
Okay, that is your 2 minutes. If you want some additional testimony, you can in writing. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak who didn't have a chance to speak? All right, seeing no one, the board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
So those were all the matters before the board today. The board's voting meeting will take place next Wednesday, January 25th at 1 p.m. The information to access the voting hearing is on our website, boston.gov/cannabis. Again, the record will be kept open until Tuesday, January 24th, 5 p.m. Thank you all for attending and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Everyone.